The story opens in December of 1944, deep in the Ardennes Forest, where a troop of American soldiers is moving by truck. The truck sinks into thick mud and grinds to a halt. The first sergeant climbs down to inspect, and that's when he hears the sound of a vehicle rolling toward them. The fog is so heavy that nothing ahead is visible, and the Germans use that cover to open fire, cutting the entire group down. These are soldiers of the Nazi Party's SS Corps. They move along the side of the truck and pour bullets into it, and not a single man is allowed to run. But the first sergeant still has life left in him. The moment the German soldiers climb back onto their tank, he quietly takes one of them down. The Germans pull out and leave their shot soldier behind. The scene shifts to a woman named Mrs. Caldwell, who receives a visit from a U.S. Army Colonel, John Castle. He has come to talk with her about her pension plan. The same Battle of the Bulge that John fought in is the battle where Caldwell's son was killed. But Caldwell doesn't want to speak with John because her company, Gavlin, is refusing to pay her pension, and she doesn't have the money to drag them into court. So John tells her that the people at Gavlin hold her in high regard, that she is a top-of-the-line employee, and he knows this firsthand. The scene shifts back to the time when John was in Belgium. He is a captain of an engineering battalion. He orders one of his soldiers, Cash, to get to the hospital because 3 of Cash's fingers have been severed. Cash still refuses, insisting that they are not done here. But Castle's decision stands. The colonel tells John that he has to move 5 miles out and block a road because a massive German counteroffensive has been going on for 3 days. They have to stop them right there so they never reach the fuel depots. The colonel explains that it's the 1st SS Panzer Division coming down that road. This division used to serve as Hitler's bodyguard. These are not soldiers, they are murderers. So they will have to face these men without following any international law. These soldiers carry an SS tattoo on their arms. John decides to supervise the roadblock personally. The colonel tells him that by the time they finish the roadblock, the rest of the battalion will already have moved out, so the joining point will be sent to him over the radio. John's team loads up their equipment and rolls out in a truck. John was an agricultural engineer back home, which means he was legally allowed to avoid military service, but he chose to join the army anyway. Then their truck breaks down on the way, and repairing it will take a full hour. So John decides to continue on foot. All around them, bombs are going off. They reach the road and begin building the roadblock, but one of the soldiers is shot. There are German snipers uphill. John and Ramirez flank around toward the snipers, crawling until they are right on bottom of them, and they both throw grenades. John tells Ramirez to make sure the men are dead. One German soldier is still alive, saying something to them, but the whole thing is a distraction to set off a grenade. Ramirez throws himself onto it and dies. That's when John spots a German tank rolling up the road, and he sees that their roadblock isn't finished. But by luck, all of his men hide before the German tank reaches them, and the tank itself comes to a halt just short of the roadblock. The German soldiers attack John's team, firing on John as well, and a bullet tears into his thigh. The German soldiers then move out right in front of his eyes. John goes to each of his fallen men, pulls the dog tags from around their necks, and gathers them together. John sets off a TNT blast and drops trees across the road. Carrying his radio with him, he makes his way back to the broken-down truck. His leg has taken a bullet, so he wraps it in a bandage and tries to start the engine. But German soldiers are passing by right in front of him, and John hides from them. One soldier climbs into the truck. John fights him, wrapping the wire of his radio around the man's throat and choking him to death. And it's here that John sees a white horse. After that, John contacts base over the radio and reports that the mission is complete, but his men are dead and he is wounded. John shares his coordinates. But between him and base are a great many German soldiers. John will have to make it to the rally point on his own, and it's an enormous hike. Base cannot help him, because they are taking artillery fire of their own. So John starts walking. He is 27 kilometers from the rally point. He spots a house ahead of him. John pulls a blanket off a drying line and slips into a shed, where a hen has laid eggs. He eats one egg and drinks water. Looking at a photo of his wife and thinking of her, he falls asleep right there. The next day, the owner of the house points a gun at him, but John explains that he's an American. A French family lives in this house, and they treat his wound. This family doesn't know English, and John doesn't know French, so they communicate through gestures and a few scattered English words. These people are frightened by the bombs going off around them too. John shows them the map and asks where this house is located, then tries to contact his base. But right then, German soldiers arrive. The family hides John in a secret compartment built under the floor. The German soldiers hold them at gunpoint and demand information about the American fuel depot. They aim a gun at the woman's daughter to frighten her, and then they shoot the woman. John comes out and fires back. He hides the daughter below. Outside, the girl's father has been killed as well. John quietly kills the soldier inside the tank, takes the tank, and escapes from there. The German soldiers fire at him from behind. John struggles to drive the tank, but a dog wanders into the road ahead of him. Trying not to run the animal over, the tank goes off-road and tumbles down into a ravine, and John is knocked unconscious by the collision. When he comes to some time later, the hatch won't open. John strikes it with something and forces it open. He goes back to the family's house, which the German soldiers have torn apart before leaving. But the girl is safe in the basement. John tells her that the Americans are coming and that they will help her. He gives the girl one of his pistols for her safety, tells her he's sorry, and leaves. The moment he steps outside, he breaks down crying. He moves on, and ahead of him a long line of German tanks rolls past. 19 kilometers from the rally point, John contacts base on the radio again, but base still can't help him. Germans are all over them, and they're having trouble holding their own position. Pushing forward, he comes across a large number of dead German soldiers, and a vehicle approaches from behind. John hides his radio and lies down among the bodies. German soldiers come over and take the watch off his wrist. They start urinating on his head. They take his gun. And right then, the German soldier lying beside John opens his eyes. The man tries to shout, but John stabs him and kills him. The rest of the German soldiers leave. After that, John continues his hike. He is 14 kilometers from the rally point, and here he spots an abandoned house. John goes inside, but he notices that a kettle is boiling. A baton is lying there, and right then, a German soldier steps into view. John beats him to death with that very baton. He takes a flamethrower from there and quietly moves up to the upper floor, where two more German soldiers are waiting. The moment one of them steps out for something, John burns the other one alive. He finishes him off completely with that same soldier's own gun. After that, he throws a grenade at the soldier sitting in the tank. Moving forward, John sees that white horse once again. He is 10 kilometers from the rally point when he comes across the soldier's truck that was shown at the very start of the story. The first sergeant, Pierce, is still alive here. John gives him the last of his water. He was planning to get this truck unstuck with the help of its winch, but right then an airstrike comes down on the truck and everything around it. By luck, John survives, but Pierce doesn't make it. John has to push on without the truck. Now he is only 3 kilometers from the rally point. He sees that white horse in front of him again, but the airstrikes start up all around him once more. Bombs are exploding right beside John and bullets are flying. John lies flat. Crying, he prays to God to make it all stop, prays to be taken home. He starts thinking about his wife and his son. He regains consciousness at night. The moment he gets up, he hears the sound of a chain. The chain belongs to a dog, and the dog belongs to a soldier named Bellingham, who helps John. Bellingham's vehicle is overturned here. John is severely injured, and Bellingham sits him down. When John asks, he says he was headed to the 99th Division to give some maps to the commander, but Bellingham doesn't know their current position. So John tries to contact his battalion on the radio. Bellingham helps him get the radio working. This radio has stayed with him the entire way, but this time no response comes back. John and Bellingham start talking about the war. John gives Bellingham a cigarette, and right then, a response comes over the radio. His battalion has secured Elsenborn, and they're sending assets to help him too. So John gives them his coordinates and tells them there's another soldier with him, Bellingham, who needs to reach the 99th's HQ and needs their position. John and Bellingham start talking again. Bellingham is a football fan. For him, the Navy-Army game is a national holiday. So John tells him about his family. Bellingham steps off to the side to relieve himself. And right then John's eyes land on the cigarette Bellingham has been smoking. He smoked the Lucky Strike the wrong way. He didn't burn the logo first. And right then, the location of the 99th HQ comes through on the radio in SOI encoding, meaning a secret method. When John passes it along to Bellingham, he can't understand the encoding. He says it's above his pay grade. So John draws his gun on him. Bellingham is an American fighting for the Germans. No one taught him how to light up that lucky the right way. Bellingham says he's not an SS. So John tells him to show his arm, where the SS get their tattoos. The second John's attention drifts toward the radio, Bellingham runs. He opens fire on John. John takes cover behind the overturned vehicle. He has only 2 bullets left, and Bellingham has a full automatic weapon. In his attempt to shoot John, he kills the dog as well. From his side, John wastes one of his bullets, but the last one hits Bellingham. With whatever strength he has left, John tries to drag himself toward his radio, but he passes out. By morning, an American soldier reaches him and saves him. John asks where his radio is. The radio is right there with him. John regains consciousness in a hospital, where General Lohr comes to see him. His roadblock had bought them a few precious hours. And that's why they're putting him in for the Silver Star for everything he did. They confirm that the soldier Bellingham was indeed an SS, and that John was absolutely right to kill him. But John refuses to accept the medal. He believes that since he couldn't save his own men, he doesn't deserve any medal. To that, General Lohr tells him that his job wasn't to keep his men alive. His job is to keep alive the ones waiting back home, so he can keep his no thanks to himself. After that, John writes letters in the name of every one of his fallen men. Now Mrs. Caldwell says that the soldier called it the Naval-Army game, and everyone in America knows that we say Army-Navy game. And right here, the real reason for John's visit to Mrs. Caldwell comes out. The radio that stayed with John through that entire journey was built at the very same company where Mrs. Caldwell works. But she says there is no way of knowing that she built his particular one. So John tells her he tracked the whole thing down, and that unit was built under her charge. John hands Mrs. Caldwell a check. Seeing it, she's stunned. It was $9,000. Mrs. Caldwell had been trying to settle with Galvin Industries for years. But John now tells her that as the man in charge of all radio equipment purchases nationwide for the US Army, Galvin had no choice but to listen to him, or he would find himself another supplier. After that, John walks out of there with a limp. He puts his children to bed, and right there in their room, that radio sits, carefully kept. And with that, friends, this story comes to an end. Let us know in the comments how you liked this explanation, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.